Oh, what is going on? Pete here with GreenDreams. I'm at our nursery here in Central Florida. We are in Pasco County, just north of Tampa. We're an edible nursery with mostly fruit trees, natives, clumping bamboo, and other useful plants. We also do edible landscaping all over the state of Florida. Today, I'm doing a little video follow-up from our really hard once in 10-year freeze event that we just had. Just kind of going over what we did to protect stuff, what had damage, what we lost, what's surviving, what's dead, what's hopefully coming back. So it's been about 2 weeks since I started this video, hoping Robbie, my editor, can take some of the footage that he does have of everything covered and as we uncovered stuff. And as we start to uncover, you can see the difference in the grasses here underneath the frost cloth. Wherever it was touching the frost cloth, we have a little bit of red kind of discoloration where they got burnt on that outer edge. So here's a great example of protected from the frost cloth. Guavas that have guavas on it still. Green leaves, still looking pretty good in the 7-gallon pots. Those guys took it like a champ. These guys weren't covered. Those would be the cherry, the Rio. No coverage on the blackberries, the grapes, peaches, plums, pomegranates, pears, persimmons. Nothing to worry about over here. Pineapple, guava, we didn't have to cover. I believe they had some of these large patanga covered up though. Tea bush, native tea bush, all of our natives got covered, and you can tell they're pretty pissed off. A combination of probably being dry. A lot of these plants have been laying down for almost a week now. This cold lasted a really long time, where our typical cold front is 2 or 3 days. We were way longer than expected this time. 7 days is a lot to leave plants laying on the ground. Ideally, would have liked to have picked these plants back up, watered them, laid them back down, but nobody wanted to come in. Nobody wanted to work during those cold conditions, so kind of left things laying. But the blueberries over here, they're all going to be fine. Figs, guys, figs for days. No problem in the cold. So like I said, if it goes dormant in the wintertime, if it loses its leaves, nothing to worry about. Guys, if you're watching this video, if you've been growing fruit trees for a while, you've been following me, and you lost some stuff, just know I love you. I love plants. I feel bad for all of you guys. Don't give up. Maybe going forward, we're going to try more of growing things we know that are going to be true to our area. Definitely cold hardy. I've learned that over the years. I'm planting less jackfruits. I'm planting less mangoes. I'm planting less sensitive stuff, and I'm trying to plant more cold hardy things. Kind of moving on past that, pushing the edge per se, just because it's heartbreaking when something like this happens. This will happen every 15 years. Looks like we've got a exposed jujube, had a fruit on it, which also took a little bit of cold damage. So this is probably going to drop its leaves. We'll end up having to prune these guys back. These are air layered and not grafted, where some are grafted. Wonder if this is any good still. Actually not bad. Has a bit of that kind of caramel apple taste still. This would be the better apple to grow in our area. Typically speaking, a lot of people like to grow the Anna, the Dorset, some of these lower chill varieties. But this is a Florida apple, so if you live down further south and you don't get the chill, you can't grow the Anna, you can't grow the Dorset. A jujube would be a great choice. They're heavy producers. They need to be cut back every year. And they are fairly cold hardy. So this one, it came back from the roots at my property after I had that really cold event, 10 years ago. So it's something that will come back. Cherry the Rio, once again, looking really good. White sapote over there, pretty cold hardy. Took it like a champ. And this is going to be the telltale right here. How did the bananas do? Laying down for a week, covered in frost cloth. I mean, most of my bananas, or all of my bananas on my property, have zero green. The fact that these guys are even holding any green still is a good sign. Lots of yellow, lots of browning, standing them up. We're going to be turning on the water here soon. All of our mangoes, more cold sensitive avocados underneath this tarp over here. And then olives, super cold hardy, figs there on the end row. Olive would be another great evergreen cold hardy fruit tree. Combination of olives being brined, olive oil, lots of different uses for that one. So what do you think about all this cold weather?
I am a little bit sad, but everything's come back. They're gonna get better. We're gonna have plants pretty good in April maybe.
Make plants again?
Yes, we make plants, we make propagate it, and we take care of them, and they come back.
You're ready for that warm weather, aren't you?
Yes, I'm waiting for.
Coconuts are coming, don't worry.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Definitely had quite the loss here at the nursery. Probably tens of thousands of dollars in plant damage. A lot of stuff is actually even starting to come back already. We're at the beginning of March. You can see this beautiful white stuff on the ground. I say beautiful because I cannot wait to put that stuff away. I'm being sarcastic. We use the lay and pray method. So we lay all of our plants down. We put the frost cloth on top of it. There's many different ways to cover plants, to protect plants on cold nights. A lot of people use overhead water, smudge pots, greenhouses. For us, at the scale we're at, I don't have greenhouses. Not into the smudge pots. I do have some, don't have enough to cover this much area. We've had really good luck using this frost cloth. And I will even tell you, in some areas where I had 2 layers of frost cloth, even with the 19.5, I had no damage. So other areas where I had the frost cloth single coat, even on mangoes, we lost them, lost avocados I didn't expect to lose. Definitely kind of a few things I didn't think they were going to go. We lost like Brogdons even in some areas, smaller ones. Over here up against the side of the shade house, I have larger Warts avocados in 7 and 15 gallons that are alive on the center, but they're completely defoliated. They almost got smoked. So, but I cannot wait to put away this frost cloth. Challenging thing with the frost cloth, and you know, not all frost cloth is created equally. This frost cloth is a 4 mil, very heavy. It's not thin. It's not like the typical stuff you see like that the Farmer's Friend sells, that Tanner used at the home farm. That stuff works great for those tender veggies, but when we're trying to cover something more tropical like fruit trees, having something a little bit thicker like that definitely makes a big difference. So I don't know the brand on this. People always ask me, what kind of frost cloth is this? I buy it from a commercial supplier here in Tampa. He runs out every year. Everybody seems to. He has it up until we know the first hard freeze is coming, and then within a couple of days, it's gone. So this stuff goes pretty quick. Hopefully they're restocked again next year, because I'm going to get a couple more rolls, because my plan going forward is to probably double layer. So the couple of really cold sensitive rows I have on this side of the nursery, the next block of nursery over there, we're going to double cover those. Real long-term goal would be to get a big shade house or a big greenhouse, something that's heated. I'm going to turn the camera around now, let you guys see a little bit of the carnage I'm looking at. And this is a newly planted bed here up against the fence with those eucalyptus trees, and they're live. I've scratched them. They're green. They're going to come back. The ones at my home farm that have been in the ground a couple years even have some burning on the edges. It's really interesting. You know, I have a block just like this with 10, 15 trees. The ones on the edges that are the more exposed, you know, took a little bit of the browning. The ones that are all protected and connected, they're fine. So same thing with the vetiver grass. It got a little cooked on the top, a little brown hair. We'll give that a haircut here soon. Like I said, spring is in the air. It is the beginning of March. I cannot wait to put this white crap back in the shipping container, put this stuff all the way until next year. We really don't want to see it again. And I can't even say next year because fall. So we'll probably be bringing that back out again November, December. Hopefully it's December. But you guys can see a lot of the damaged salvias. And what we've already done in the last couple of weeks is move the really bad stuff over to this area. We're going to see what recovers, taking pictures, inventory. We're still kind of in that process. We have a lot of jabos that lost all their leaves, but definitely look like they're coming back or have already started to sprout. Oh my gosh. A lot of these Turk's cap all are completely brown, even being underneath the frost cloth. These guys look pretty good. This is the white sapote. They're fine. This is probably just an overflow area. Firebush, very mad, not dead. So this is the survival zone. This doesn't mean that things are dead in this area. Once we do figure out, you know, this isn't going to be coming back, we'll end up just putting the soil in our compost pile and clearing the area out. But this has kind of always been just an overflow zone. But you can see we still have a really good, you know, pile of strawberry trees that were only protected with frost cloth that made it through this 19.5 event, this really cold, hopefully once in 10-year cold event. You know, we're really hoping this doesn't happen again next year. But I've seen 17. You know, I know how cold it can get here. Not going to plant things that shouldn't grow here anymore. You know, we'll push the edge a little bit, but let's face it, guys, if we're up here in this 9B, you know, Central Florida area, whoa, look at this stunner. So somebody woke up early. Mulberry season is coming soon. That definitely took my attention away, but You know, even when we're into 9B, Central Florida, it gets really, really cold here. Suriname cherry with flowers. Lots of cold damaged plants. Cherry de Rio Grande, pretty cold hardy. You can see some of the tops, though, all got burnt that were touching the frost cloth. So even with having that cloth on there, some things will still take a little bit of damage to the top. Sweet almonds, all already starting to push out new growth in the last week or two. So spring is definitely in the air. All right, guys, please excuse the background noise. We're kind of doing a little quick check. Nursery opens up here in about an hour, getting the leaves blowing off. It is almost spring. Leaves are dropping. Understory area is just an absolute mess. But over here in the grass zone, you know, these are all vetiver grasses, sugarcane, lemongrass. Usually have some Fakahatchee and muley here, but we actually moved that over to a native row only. These guys were all brown top just a couple of weeks ago. They've already started to push out new growth. I mean, that vetiver we just cut back maybe 7 days ago, 10 days ago, already has 10 to 12 inches, I bet, of new growth. So stuff is recovering really, really quick. Next row over, I mean, those roses were just brown. They're already coming back. I believe that's the climbing white. This is that Florida cracker. But a lot of things that were already brown are starting to kind of recover. Yarrow is already looking better. So within the last 2 weeks since I first came out here to make a video, things are starting to look night and day. I'm even going to start, or I even started to bring some inventory back in this week. I think maybe next week I'll start to bring some citrus back in with some new varieties everybody keeps asking for. And the week after that, we are expecting one more cold front. I'm going to start bringing in some more fruit trees, so stay tuned. I did just get a bunch of 7-gallon Fantastic. Ooh, lychee flowering. These guys don't look too bad for having 19.5 degrees in here, you know, freezing for 10 hours. It was quite rough, but we've moved our better material to this area. This is kind of the retail zone. That over there is our overflow zone. We don't really have clients going to that area. That's more of an employee-only zone. So we've kind of shifted stuff back and forth. The best of the best has come over here. The worst has kind of gone over there. In the last couple of weeks, I just brought in a bunch of new native stuff. Some things I've never even had before. These are our beat up bananas. We're gonna hit them with some fertilizer in the next week, spray them with some fish emulsion, hopefully wake them up. We've got new papayas on the way. Those ones made it through the winter, made it through that 19.5. They are definitely tall and kind of scraggly, but hanging on. Need a little love. These are our good firebush. All of our bad firebush went over to the other side. Just got some more of the blanket flower in. Got some of the 1-gallon native blueberry, false rosemary, black-eyed Susan. Haven't had that in a minute. There's a couple other things I just brought in that we haven't had. Oh, the Calethera. That's a hummingbird bush. This is another native. Haven't had that in a little while. I did bring in some wax myrtle. I think that's down over here. Tea bush. We need to get the weeds out of that. It is coming back. It took a little bit of cold damage. Coral honeysuckle, love the cold. Elderberry took the cold, no problem. Dwarf yapu and holly. Dwarf Walther's viburnum. What a stunner. This guy is flowering right now. Beautiful native bush, hedge, specimen, however you want to grow that one into your landscape. This is the native wax myrtle. Haven't had that in a minute. Just got some more of those back in. Everybody's been asking me, Pete, get more nitrogen fixers. So we've got some for you. Native muley grass. That flowers. Beautiful purple spikes in fall. Absolute favorite. Elliott's lovegrass. I'm surprised more people aren't excited about that. That is a beautiful kind of bluish gray colored grass. Very small, dwarf-like. Fakahatchee brass. Did take some cold damage. We cut that back. It's sprouting back already. Fatch palms. I thought you were more cold hardy. Definitely a little bit disappointed in those. The ones I planted in the ground are brown up front. Really hope they come back. Kunti palm. Even those got a couple little brown tips. Another native though. And then we're shifting into the tropical zone. Cherry de Rio Grande, and of course all of our stone fruits are super happy right now. Loving the cold weather. Guavas have guavas on them. At least in these bigger 15 gallons. There's a nice one. I think I just got a restock of rosemary, some raspberries, some dormant grapes over here, and girls out here in the nursery prettying stuff up. What do you know about the Buddleia? Butterfly bush, the flower on that is super fragrant. Got a new raspberry flavor coming in later this week. This is just that regular purple spike, I'd call it. Beautiful rosemaries right now. They are looking studly. Table is looking a little bit sparse. We lost a lot to cold damage. Got a couple purslane left over here. No flowers just yet. And a good pile of pineapple guava. Those guys are super cold hardy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't give up. Continue to pound dirt. Continue to try to grow food. We'll see how the lay and pray method did here for me. I'd love to come out and check out your garden. So if you have a backyard food forest that did really well through this cold weather, or you have some things that weren't supposed to grow, drop me a line. I want to start doing tour videos again, at least once or twice a month. Get out with this camera. Like to leave my property, like to leave the jobs. I'm ready to start traveling again. So ready for that? Pound dirt.